Well, we continue to discuss the debacle unravelling at the South African Social Security Agency. The Post Office's CEO, Mark Barnes, says he's received a letter of request from the Sassa CEO asking for his assistance. Mark Barnes joins us now in studio. Mark, thanks so much for coming in.
Pleasure, thanks.
I have to ask you a very plain question. First off, a lot of criticism coming in just in terms of whether the Post Office can indeed handle such a mammoth task, the delivery of 17 million social grants. Some comments on Twitter this afternoon. The Post Office can't deliver mail. Can it handle the Sassa grants issue?
Yeah, I think those are two different streams, first of all. Let's understand that. This would be something that's delivered through the branch network, but by Postbank. Postbank is an up and operating bank. I think we do something like 20 million transactions a month. We've got 5.7 million clients, and we're an active and successful business. And so those are two different streams. Fixing mail is a completely different animal, which we've had to really go down into the basement and start repairing it. And that's also going to come good. But the two are different delivery mechanisms. Yeah.
So as I understand it, there's meant to be a voucher system in place for the delivery of
we have that already operating in the Eastern Cape for one of the government of Public Works Department. Okay. So the way that would work, and it is working at the moment, is you'd send an electronic voucher via SMS, whatever, to once we've got the Sassa, if we had the Sassa database, right? And that would say that this person with the code is entitled to that payment, and they would pitch up at a post office or post bank or another point of payment with evidence of, with ID as evidence of their them being the beneficiary, and they could get paid at that pay point. Now, that's not an optimal solution that is enduring, and it doesn't have biometrics and all of those good things, and we would have to have the existing cash in transit partner who delivers to the very, very remote areas continue to do that in partnership with us and our infrastructure, which is the biggest infrastructure in the country. Okay. So what we're saying, what we're putting our hand up for is to help. We believe that this is a government responsibility, and we are a department of government. We're part of government, so we should be able, I would have thought, between us to find an intergovernmental solution. The economics of this contract are significant, and to the extent that they are captured within the organization of government, we believe that's in the best interest of taxpayers. So we should do the job. The ICT white paper, which is a policy approved by Cabinet, requires us to pay social grants as the Post Office, and so we're just putting up our hands and saying, can we help? Okay, now, an enduring solution, a sustainable solution will require an organization like the Post Office or any other organization for that matter, such as one of the big banks and so on, to go into various partnerships. Not all of us are in the business of card manufacture, not all of us are in the business of biometric technology, not all of us are in the business of ATMs and so on. But all of those partnerships are out there for any new provider of this service, and we have been approached by umpteen of them offering, including the retailers in South Africa, offering to be our partners. So for me, the optimal solution would be to engage immediately with the South African Post Office to get what we can done, and then to provide a transition period, call it 3 to 6 months, where people could use both systems and eventually move that across to the Post Office in its entirety. Now, that's not abnormal when you change a service provider in normal business circumstances, okay? We just haven't been engaged at all, other than a request from the CEO by letter as to whether we could help, which, by the way, I regard as entirely in order, for him to say, well, guys, can we look at a plan B if we need to? Okay. So that's the context in which we're putting our hands up to see if we can help.
And I mean, this is not completely unknown territory for the Post Office anyway.
No, we used to pay the social grants.
Exactly. Back in 2008, this is what you did.
Yeah. There were a lot fewer then. There were only 700,000 beneficiaries at that time, and the systems and technology have changed substantially since then. But yes, we can help.
So, Mark, given that we've talked about the voucher system, but there is a portion of grant recipients that get their grants at cash pay points. Yeah. That's also another different animal.
Well, no, I mean, those cash pay points use machines which the current incumbent have provided, but those in time could be substituted. The retailers, there are lots of, you can imagine, and I don't use names here, a massive retailer have got cash in their tills all day. They've got access to those people are going there anyway, and they can provide pay points and mechanisms which have been discussed with us already. So come 1st of April, we could provide a system that results in the payment of social grants to beneficiaries on the basis of IDs and an electronic voucher.
And I mean, you can do that. We're sitting now at the beginning of March.
I mean,
you can do that by the first.
well, phone us today and we'll get stuck into it. When I made that statement, which was 3 days ago, yes, if you'd phoned us then, we're starting to run out of time. If you phone us in 2 weeks' time, no. But if you engage with us now, at least we can find a solution together and a backstop plan, because we think the wrong result would be to run counter to the ruling of the Constitutional Court and appoint the incumbent. Okay, we don't think that is in the national interest. And so, but we have not sat down, despite the fact that we've exchanged letters, we have not sat down with Sassa and talked about how we could come together on this.
Let's go back to that letter for a moment. So you're in the middle of a request for information at the moment. This is not a tender process. It's not a tender process.
It's quite a different thing. It's a bit like asking for someone for their CV rather than offering them a job. Okay. So there was an RFI, which is a request for information, sent out where we submitted a response to that on the 10th of February, which is 3 weeks ago, if you like, which set out the specs for what would be the ultimate system to provide the payment of social grants, which is a very good and ambitious system over time. Okay, we submitted our capabilities, as did many others, and our state of readiness at that time. Okay, which included the various aspects that I've talked about now, and included the possibility of us getting into partnerships and associations which could deliver a comprehensive package over time. But that is not a tender, and it's not an RFQ, and so it's entirely appropriate for Sassa to have engaged with us, which wouldn't have been appropriate if we were part of a tender and they were favouring us in any way. But there's not a tender at the moment.
As CEO of the Post Office, I mean, given the situation between Sassa, the Department of Social Development and Treasury, I'm sure you've seen it unfolding in the media. Is this something you want the South African Post Office to get involved with? Absolutely.
I mean, I think it's our job, actually. I mean, payment of social grants is as I've said before, is a social service, not a, it's a government service, not a private sector feast. We're parts of government, and we should stand together where we can and help one another to deliver this thing in a cost-effective way. And if it so happens that it's a profitable engagement, well, a profit made in the post office is a profit for the people. A profit made outside of the system is a cost to the fiscus. It's fairly simple and clear to me.
Yeah, well, you've got the support of COSATU. It's saying that it believes the Post Office, Post Bank should take responsibility for the payments of social grants, especially because thousands of your workers have faced retrenchment.
Absolutely, yeah.
So your message to Sassa, the Department of Social Development,
it's very
just
simple.
In terms of your readiness and your ability to deliver by the 1st of April.
Okay, we think we can bring you a solution by the 1st of April that we can work together on to develop into a fully fledged sustainable solution. And we're just putting our hands up to help. Call us, we'll come immediately.
And when is the deadline to call you?
I don't know. As soon as possible.
As soon as possible. All right. The Post Office's CEO, Mark Barnes, thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you.